This is Kyle Burton, a Costco worker with a baby on the way, struggling to earn an income past $2,000 every single month. Well, he was struggling until he found this gym company. He spoke with the owner, who had a massive following online. The owner said that he was selling products to his massive online audience, but he noticed that his higher end programs, costing upwards of $8,000, weren't selling unless he took the time to speak with the client over the phone. You see, the business owner was a very busy guy. He didn't have time to speak with hundreds of his viewers who have expressed an interest online. I mean, after all, most of them don't buy. But some did buy, and he was willing to pay someone who could help him. Kyle, being the guy he was, didn't have any experience selling $8,000 products online, but he did have one thing: people skills. So Kyle, being the smart guy he was, made the gym owner an offer. Kyle said if he were able to filter out the buyers from the losers and send the buyers to the gym owner, he wanted 5% of the sale. The gym owner thought about this and eventually agreed. After all, 5% was only $400. But the gym owner wasn't seeing something that Kyle was. Kyle recognized that even though there were hundreds of losers each month, Kyle saw at least 10 to 30 buyers each and every month. The business owner was shocked to find himself paying Kyle between $4,000 to $12,000 every single month for such a simple service. Now, let's get into the video and break down more specifically how Kyle is able to make his money.
How much is the offer that you guys sell?
From 8,000 to 16,000. I'm 100% commission, so only when there's a sale made, I make money on whatever's collected. I help personal trainers grow and scale their online coaching and training. If they pay everything up front and they pay that $8,000, then I get like the $400. The commission structure is 5%. Yeah.
Okay. Commission structure is 5%. Your offer is $8,000 to $16,000. And on any given month, what is your KPI for how many appointments that you should be setting?
So we're looking to be setting at least 60 appointments a month.
You only get money of those 60 people that show up on the calendar who buy that program that's $8,000 or $16,000, right? That's when you get paid, when they buy.
Exactly.
And how many of those 60 people buy? Is that like how common is it for someone to buy a program that expensive?
It depends. Like some months, like a sales, right? So some months are less, some months are more. Our worst month so far was actually August, and we got like 9. And that's just me personally, right? There's like some other ways that some sales come in and stuff, but I got 9. But typically we're looking at like 15 or more. January was a record month for me. I got 30. So that's including some of the higher ticket ones as well. So yeah, that was awesome. I want to repeat that if I can, just 30 every month.
Wow. So was that 50% of people bought, or did you set more appointments?
Set more appointments. That month was crazy.
And so how many do you know how many you set that month roughly?
Yeah. So I think I set about 90
to get 30 sales.
So, wow. So about 30%.
Last kind of question here, I guess I have on somewhat of like the specifics on like the income and this kind of thing is just like time wise to set that. How much time are you investing to set those 60 appointments, 90 appointments in a given month?
So the funny thing about my hours, when things are really busy and going well, I work less hours. When things are slow, I work a lot more hours. But those days I was working like 4, maybe 6 hours a day. But now I work a bit longer hours because things are a little bit slower, and we're talking to a lot less qualified people all of a sudden, and so I have to sift through a lot more people to kind of get the closer filled up, right? So now the hours are more like a consistent 8 hours a day kind of situation because it's slow. Yeah, exactly. It's slow, so I have to work more to try and make up for the slowness. But when it's busy, I'm full up and everybody's like, yeah, it's like, it's kind of an interesting thing back, because like, what a weird situation. When things are busy, I work less, and that's because when things are really busy, there's people on my calendar, boom, I bang a lot of things out really quickly. It was kind of almost like a situation where I'd be like super busy one week and then like have almost nothing to do the next week because I kind of book out the closer too far. I've had a marketing agency. I tried drop shipping. I still have a bunch of fucking products still in my garage that I don't know how to frickin' get rid of. The agency model was working out all right until, because my niche that I focused on was like in-person stuff, and so that would kind of ruin that. And I was like, dang it. First, what got me into sales in the first place and told me I'm going to focus it in as one, that's where things seem to fall off a lot in my entrepreneurial journey. Is I didn't know how to sell my own stuff. Maybe it's imposter syndrome or what have you, but I couldn't know how to do that. But two, a lot of successful people, well, two people that have a pretty nice lifestyle, I would say. And I have like my uncle, right, who's in sales. His lifestyle seems crazy to me and awesome. And he just like throws $75,000 to upgrade his backyard on a whim. I'm like, what the heck? How do you do that? How do you afford this? And he's in sales. And so I was like, I just want to get into sales. Obviously, you can make a lot of money in sales. I've seen it. I need to focus on it also. So everything is kind of aligned. That's why I chose sales in the beginning. Let's get into a job. Like, feel like I'm ready then. All right, let's go do this then. And then I basically interviewed with the first company and they wanted me. And so like, okay. And a little background on that. It's like, I don't think I've ever failed an interview. Like I've always passed. Some of it might be my charm, some of it might be my confidence. But I just showed up and he said, you know what? I think you could have done a little bit better, but I like you. I think you're a good fit for our company. Let's get it going. I was like, okay, cool. But I would say just like dive into the material, study a bit, maybe study for a week, depending on how many hours you can put into it, then get into some mocks. Like I've been on this offer for a year and a half or so, close to a year and a half.
Compared to your first kind of offer, your first months compared to now, I guess, how have your skills developed and changed? I mean, what was the difference in the ratio of like appointments? How have you gotten more efficient with your job?
Not much has changed in my skill set. I feel like my skill set's been pretty consistent. It's just a different offer, different system. I've only been on 2 offers. My first offer, I was doing a lot of dials. I was getting a list of leads and I just dialed, and you just talk to as many people. And these are people that raised their hand, right? They opted into something. I'm reaching out, calling these people basically as fast as possible. So like maybe they opted in a second ago.
Pause. I just want to clarify what Kyle means when he says opted in. Basically, anytime you see a form or a product online in which you enter your information, your name, email, password, some businesses will actually have people like Kyle call you up to close the deal. If that hasn't happened to you yet, it's probably because you haven't inquired about a product that's over $5,000.
Go and I'm like, and they're like, what the heck just happened? And when I was doing that, I got a lot of people be like, that was quick, holy cow. And so you're trying to reach out to people as fast as possible, talk to them, see where they're at, what's going on, why were they interested in this? Trying to get like 100 dials a day, 150 dials a day, which is like 50 to 75 contacts, right? Because you double dial. Obviously, it's a lot more nerve-wracking than what I'm doing now. And I think there's a difference between not my skill set, but how things are set up, right? With the systems and processes in place. But now this offer, they have like a marketing person doing the DM setting now. And so they found someone that's a beast in the DMs, and she's in there just freaking killing it. And now she sets people on my calendar so that we can constantly have people being put on my calendar. They get on my calendar, we talk then, they're expecting my call, they're prepared, they're ready to show up, and they know that they're getting into something that can potentially change life. Like this, it'd start, I'd be like, hey Ethan, how's it going, man? Stoked to talking with you. Where are you calling from? Normal intro stuff. Then I'd be like, cool, man. Well, let's get into this. Today we're talking about this and this and this, frame the call. And then I get into talking with them and seeing where they're at, what's going on. And then if they're a good fit, then I set them with the closer. And if they're not a good fit, then I refer them to something else, whether it's some free resources, one of our lower level tier things.
What's going on right now that you're feeling like grateful for?
Dude, I'm super grateful for just the opportunity to be able to travel and work. It's my first time doing this workcation kind of situation. And it's unique. It's cool.
Are you setting appointments while you're traveling with your wife?
Yeah, so I'm in Prague. We were here for basically 3 months. We did a little side tangent trip down to Italy, and then we went to Greece as well, and we just kind of got back from that. But that was like a little week and a half kind of situation that we did. Next couple years, I'm definitely going to be closing 100%. And then income earnings, I'm looking to be making about 30,000 a month is like my goal right now. And we'll see. I'm not even at 20, so we'll see how long it takes to get 30. But I hit 10,000 a month pretty often. So, or at least really close to it. So my original plan was to be setting for 6 months and then transition to being a closer. My ideal work situation is having Monday, Friday off. I'll settle for Monday half day, Friday half day, So I kind of like a bit more of an extended weekend. So starting later on Monday and getting off early on Friday kind of situation. All my friends and family are in like the Seattle, Washington area. So, and it's pretty expensive there. Trying to buy a house here soonish.
Finally, man, I mean, what would you say to someone who's on the fence about appointment setting?
This is the most successful business that I have ran so far. And it's providing for not just me, but my daughter and my wife. And we have like a 3-story house. Like, it's not like I'm like living in a studio apartment anymore, right? Like, I'm living in a 3-story house in a kind of expensive place. Rent's like $3,000 a month. But honestly, the biggest thing here is that you learn the one skill set. It's like you just learn this one thing. You don't have to worry about all this other crud. You just come in, learn this skill set, master it, just hammer your head against the wall on this one thing. You get solid at it, and then you freaking just show up, man. It's easy. It's so much easier compared to everything else.